Welcome to where art. The Vampire Keeper. Originally I called this comic book The Keeper, until I found out somebody else had a name called The Keeper, which kinda made me have to go The Vampire Keeper. Yep, it's about vampires, but it's also about the concept. Who is the keeper? Who's keeping who? And is what you're keeping worth keeping? That's the driven concept to the entire story, because it gets very confusing and very interesting. The Vampire Keeper, set into a future where vampires are not really around anymore. True vampires have almost all been made extinct. Our character, who's vampire-like, is basically the keeper of a very old and true-blood vampire. Now, the whole idea of a vampire keeper was exploring the idea of a vampire, as well as the concept of who's keeping who. Because I was thinking about the thought of, if a vampire bites a human and that human becomes a vampire, eventually there will be no food for the vampire to have, which doesn't make sense in nature. If this is a real existing creature, they would not transmit a disease that makes a person into who they are. They would be more like venomous snakes, or maybe mosquitoes. They bite someone and somehow they transmit a disease that may give them something of a vampire-like existence, but they don't live as long as a vampire, and they don't really have the true vampire skills or abilities. So I was debunking a lot of the vampire concepts. This is a very old comic book. I made this just like I made Go Figure, to understand what it takes to make a comic book, as well as what do's and do nots. Because a lot of people can tell you don't do this and don't do that, but until you really do it, you don't really understand. So yeah, it's bad, it's ugly looking, but the Tapastic version has gotten 1,000 hits, and this is only book 1. So we explore the idea of this vampire living for years and years and years. Sees wars come, wars go, people live and die. Kind of, how could you live with immortality, or even partial immortality, as well as be completely, almost not even a part of the world? So I explored all the concepts like vampire killers and where vampires came from, and the mistress. The only name I can give her is the mistress. She lives inside this keep, basically like a castle, but it's under the city. It ranges from 1 mile to 2 miles, either 1 mile in width or 2 miles deep. And she lives deep inside this place where nobody can enter but the keeper. She has a steady supply of blood that she gets through means of yet to be explained fully. But she cannot drink human blood, because human blood has a disease, has a disease or a bacteria in it that causes her to become monstrous. So she lives in this realm, or this world, where she's kept away from the desire to drink human blood and the harming of the humans, and to keep herself from being harmed by drinking human blood. because that's one of the things I wanted to make. Like, what if the true vampires didn't need to drink human blood? They needed to drink blood, but they didn't need to drink human blood. And I was bringing in the concept of a little Bible text of thou shalt not drink the blood of your brother, or drink the blood of the blood thereof. And I was taking that concept, and I was thinking, well, how long could she exist separated from any interactions and the interactions of other humans? And then I came up with the idea of split personalities. I'm not going to go through all the split personalities because you can read this on Tapastic and the book looks a lot better. So she has many split personalities that explore different parts of what it means, or the stereo idea, or the mystery of a vampire, or the concept of a vampire, or what people think of a vampire, or what a vampire really is and does. And then I broke down the concept of the vampire virus that can be spread from a vampire, or that's in a human that could hurt a vampire. Of course, there's a lot of story in this, lots of exploration in the vampire lore, and a lot of fun can be had with this. So hopefully I've made a dark enough story that somebody would take over and come up with a better character and a better design, well, more like a better design of the characters and a better story of the characters. But I still would like to keep them in the concept of the keeper who's infected with a virus that he needs, that he has the same vampire-like issues, but he's not really a vampire, and he could spread the disease around like AIDS. So he has to be careful not to let his guard down and let her take advantage, or even drink his blood, or go around drinking the blood of other humans and spreading this disease. Also in the story, you have your undead, you have your werewolves, you have your Frankensteins, and you have your vampire hunters and regular human beings. So the city is sort of protected by the mistress, as well as it is her jail. She can never leave the keep, or so-called bad things may happen. She has these energy shackles, magical shackles of vampire technology that keep her inside the keep. Secondly, nobody can enter the keep but the keeper, and the only one who will leave the keep is the keeper. So her only interaction is with the keeper, and there has been many keepers. So I wanted to explore that concept of relationship, experience, and hopefully love. But that's the Vampire Keeper.